Good afternoon. Let's start first with joining in on congratulating Unger for leading this conference after a couple of years of COVID. I understood something. In his opening brief today, I realized that Unger, I don't know if you're here. Are you here? Unger is like Christmas. There's the half a year before the conference and the half a year after the conference, and then look for him. Where is he? In direct continuation with 50 years for establishing the first IDF drone squadron, Assenheim was the first commander that I had that he taught me the hard way, the things that I know. Thank you very much.
ערב 2022, שנת 2020.
I say this with certainty, almost full certainty. There is no question on the contribution of unmanned platform in the civilian realm and the military application and all in between. Today, let's take out from our thought all the temporary blockages. If it's regulatory, if it's psychological constraints of operating such tools, we will understand very fast that technology that is available today as we speak, and we saw some today, still do not fulfill their full potential today as we speak. And it's great to see in the content brought so far this very optimistic microcosmos for the things to come. And also say in a typical Israeli tone that we are a blue and white conference here today to bring back Israel to its appropriate place in the stage of drone applications. Also looking back 40 years of conventional tools and looking forward to the civilian applications. If we look at the market, we're not going to talk about specific numbers, even though we do analyze in our company these numbers. We can take two bottom lines. One, today, and there's no dispute about this, the defense traditional field, in direct continuation of Eyal's brief, is about half of the generally termed civilian field. We can talk about paramilitary security, but about 50%. Looking forward, I think someone talked about 2025, I'm talking about 2030. We can see quite clearly that the traditional defense fields are going to be about a fifth, 20% of the overall market of unmanned platforms, maybe optimistically a quarter, among other things, because the breakthrough, the sprint of the civilian field, including enterprise and logistics, and some, let's name it what it is, some old-fashioned thinking. Unlike the fascinating brief before me, in general, there is a gap, there is a dissonance, and this rift is growing as far as civilian technologies, that we see this breakthrough of civilian technologies and the traditional industries, someone will say conservative industries, maybe those that are fixed, are still putting the platform on the center stage. How much can it fly? How much can it carry? This sensor, that payload, okay, it's important, very important, maybe. But we are not there anymore. We should look more at numbers. I like numbers. This is a small snapshot of the United States wasting for R&D in the United States. The giants like Facebook, Alphabet, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, etc., 10 times, maybe more than 10 times, of the great defense industries that happen to be American too. But the huge defense industries, Boeing, Raytheon, this says something where the R&D is going and where the next leap forward will be. Look at the the initiative Blue UAS of the SRR project in the U.S. Army as we speak. So beyond looking at the platform itself, today the name of the game should be not looking at a plane system, but look at the ecosystem in its entirety of unmanned systems operating out there. Certainly the platform still has an important place, with all due respect. But please, because there's not a lot of time, 12 minutes is very difficult for such heavy subtopics. It doesn't matter if the plane can carry 3 kilos or 40 or 4 or 8 kilograms. If I can fly several platforms simultaneously, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I can fly 15 hours, 17 or 19.2. When I have a swarm under my command, this is 24/7 over my head. And when we look at the entire ecosystem, the platform is important, but the sensors, the real sensors, the overall suite of mission. Let's be honest, as far as the physical side of these issues, the lenses, the optics, we're almost there. We pretty much reached the ceiling. It's a, sorry for the simplicity, but it's a very simple calculation, how much optics I can put and how much in this or that payload. Doesn't matter. We are there, by the way, for 30 years. So this is a nice thing to say. Machine learning, AI, these great terms, but bottom line, in reality, today, breaking this glass ceiling, the real glass ceiling, that will give us an added value or a leap forward, the next step, will be the processing of picture, analyzing, dispersing the information. I don't want to know that a person is walking. I want to know if he's limping. Not only do I want to know if he's limping, I want to know if he limped a week ago and will he limp in a week. How do I know that he limped last week? Because in the connectivity at my disposal, it is there. The system knows to look at the overall picture. Just to make it clear, MQ-9 Reaper, on average, has 3 terabytes of information every second. There are 60 to 65 various Reapers in Iraq, Somalia, all over. 180 tera a day only from the Reaper array, only in the United States military. They don't know what to do with all this information. From 180 terabytes, 0.001% maybe is relevant. How do we find it? How do we locate? How do we glean information from this? How do we pass it on? How does it become practical, relevant, and not just turn fuel into noise by flying planes all over the place? UTM, this was discussed. Urban traffic management, important. Also for the military field, not only the civilian field where it is being implemented, not only sending pizzas. When we talk about a confined military space, there should be central control, logistics. Not logistics as am I VTOL or not, do I have a launcher or not, but logistics of the commonality, the integration, the modularity of all the components, the plug and play of each and every component. It doesn't matter if I'm flying a Hermes 900 or a Reaper. It doesn't matter. I get the bottom line. I need the commonality between the various systems and arrays. Several examples. We'll try to skip fast because of time constraints. There are many more examples, and you can talk to me later. What happens in the world? What I show you now, small example about DARPA, the American DARPA. This is all civilian, academic, not military. These 2 top videos working in a swarm, real aerial swarms where the various components can talk to each other. The things we can't talk on this stage for operational security reasons. Not everything is bleak. I don't want to talk about a bleak picture about Israel, but let's look at the green grass of the neighbor, why we limit ourselves when the academy abroad is launching forward. You can see in these videos how a real aerial swarm launches forward. They can defy problems, work together. Offset, Offensive Swarm-Enabled Tactics, a huge project by DARPA that has been operating for several years. Every 6 months, a huge demo to stop and think and analyze how not only to operate 250 platforms, not only fly 250 aerial assets, and they do it. How do I control them? You see the guys with the AR here, for instance. When they look at what they need to do. This is real life. Department of Defense. There are some Northrops, some Raytheon, but behind it stands the Academy. Johns Hopkins University, for instance. Bottom right, this is a Japanese product. A drone changes its shape in order to fit into confined spaces to monitor sewage systems. The applications here are clear to all of us. Let's move forward, and I'm sorry because of the time constraints. For instance, off-the-shelf commercial. This are Exxon, top left example. Simple LIDAR, laser, no GPS, that's their motto, no pilot, no communication, autonomous flight in an area that we cannot control because there's no communication, there's no navigation. It can avoid obstacles, it can identify targets. Zurich University, top right video, AI implementation in advanced algorithmics to fast flight. When I say fast, I mean 40 kilometers an hour. This is a drone in a very dense place, or with obstacles, a forest in this case. And we need to get from point A to point B fast and avoid the obstacles. We need to search and rescue and find the person we're looking for. And there's no time to fly 4 meters forward and 1 back. We have to fly and fly fast. Such constraints. There's urban air mobility, bottom video. Very nice term. A lot of people talk about it. NASA, the great American NASA, lead this as far as R&D and how to implement this in the civilian world. Be way beyond the platform itself. How does the drone deal with predefined and known problems like a no-fly zone? How does it deal with contingency in real time? Weather, birds, diverted aircraft. How does it deal with unpredicted issues in real time? For instance, a passenger that has a heart attack and he needs to be landed immediately in a hospital and not reach the final destination. This is much more than the platform itself. Ultimately, I have 1 last minute. Yes, we are blue and white Israeli conference, so I'll give one example. Steadycopter company that is out there that exposed the Black Eagle 50 this week. Go and see it in the exhibition outside. You can see this unique platform. 20 kilograms useful weight, and this is very important for various reasons. What they do is they understood that the platform is important, and the advantages of a helicopter are there. VTOL and constant and prolonged flight time and hovering, and the ability to land anywhere and do a SIGINT mission or fly fast and far. All these are important components, but not the platform is in the center. It's a means to an end. And this end could be part of an entire ecosystem that is large in order to bring an effectiveness, real potential to fulfilling the mission, operating autonomous vehicles out there. In conclusion, if I may give you a message in 12 minutes, my message would be the world of tomorrow is a matter of the past. If you don't internalize that the platform is important, but it is not the central piece, and there's a lot around it, if you don't understand and look at the amazing things, really incredible things that are introduced today, agriculture, for instance, and where they are and where the legacy is, it will be difficult for such a person, and I'm being gentle. Thank you very much.